in a lot of ways, it just spawns from deep inside you, usually to tell a story or draw something beautiful or inspire somebody else or make your mark on the world, right? There's something that comes deep down inside, and I think it's somewhere in between emotions and your soul or somewhere in there. That's good.
I like that. Alex?
Well, my description is a lot less romantic. As a creative director, my job is to inspire creativity in a lot of people, and in general, on days where they're not very inspired, and you have to find that inspiration. So I've developed kind of a theory on how this works, and it starts with understanding that creativity is learned, it's remembered. We were all creative, very creative when we were young, and as you grow older, it starts to diminish, and the war begins when you try to fight off the walls of doubt that happen, that kill creativity. So I guess in just trying to describe it, I see it as awareness, and an awareness we all have to have when we try to find an idea. And there's ideas are like tokens, right? They're just out, they're everywhere, they're all around us always, right? And bear with me. We have our conscious and our subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is constantly working on building ideas and solving problems, because creativity in general is solving problems. Your unconscious mind, though, is always awake, always aware. It's the thing that always hears everything around you, but you can't control it, but you can program it. Okay? So the job of a creative is to learn how to program their unconscious mind, and you can do that with choosing values. So everybody here on the panel decided they liked something. And when you decide you like something, you are programming your subconscious mind to pay attention now. And as you go forward, and every time you hear, like you say, I want to be a guitar player, even when you're not paying attention, somebody's playing guitar, your subconscious mind is taking note of that. So when you sit down and actually work on playing guitar, your subconscious mind starts doling out these little tokens, and then you start putting them together. And you create a horse, you get a bird, you put them together, you make a Pegasus. That's creativity. And those little things are tokens. And so creativity in general, as far as I'm concerned, is an awareness and an openness to be able to take in the data and be able to process that data. So.
Likes, and he always says, make sure that you give examples to artists like the music, because for some reason that just helps me paint. So I want to jump in with the toolbox, the artist toolbox. What can we do as creators? What should we write down, little notes? That way, if we do get stuck, for Rob, is listening to music. For me, my environment is really important. I really like being in a space that is quiet, my phone's off, I have paintings up, pictures, things that inspire me. So for me, I can't just be anywhere to write. I want to be in a place that I don't get interrupted by left-right things. What about for you, Alex?
Well, I actually, you see, being inspired is important, but the idea of why is important, for me, is kind of where I was always thinking about. I think that everybody has, any kind of creative person in any kind of way, shape, or form, has a moment of discovery, or something happens in their life, or they draw something that actually looks like something, or they experience something, and it's almost like they touch something special, and then they realize it. So whenever you're in a situation, everybody's had that moment. Everybody here has had a moment, whether you can or can't draw, or you discovered something that was special that made you who you are. So it doesn't even have to be about art. It can be literally anything. And a great way to inspire yourself is to surround yourself with memories of those things. Whether it's a picture, it's an artifact from something that happened. That's why whenever you see graphic designers or artists, they have a lot of toys and strange things around their desk, because those are the things that touch them. You know what I mean? A lot of us guys that are my age, our moment where our heads exploded creatively was when we first saw Star Wars. So a lot of us have Star Wars stuff around, because that reminds us of when we were a child, we had nothing. We couldn't, and all of a sudden we saw it, and we were in outer space. So that's important, is finding your moment of discovery, and then attaching something to it, and surrounding yourself, and reminding yourself of that, because you need to fuel yourself. Waiting for inspirations for amateurs. You can't sit and wait for it. You have to make it happen for yourself. If you're serious about being a creative, you don't have time to just sit and wait for something to hit you. You need to get it and take it and make it happen. That's why you have to learn how to identify. I mean, people like that, like you can come up with an idea instantly because you have so many options in your head. Exactly. But I, like as an example, and You could say, I can tell you right now, picture a hummingbird, striped, red and yellow stripes, put a top hat on it, put a cigar in its mouth, and an eye patch. And everybody can picture that in your head pretty instantly, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing if you really think about it, because none of us have seen that before. That is your mind. That's how powerful you have a powerful thing in your head, a squishy thing in your brain. It's amazingly powerful. You only use a portion of it on a regular basis. I think you need to think of it as having like this superpower best friend next to you all the time.
I like that.
It's almost like you have this, and we just forget to tell him, hey, what do you want to do today? You know, you just ignore him most of your life, and he's just sitting there waiting for you to tell him what to do. And then that's kind of, I guess, I don't know what your question is.
No, it's about environment, and I like how you said, you know, you surround yourself.
Oh, yeah, I think what he's saying. I mean, I've developed a thing called the Creative Arch, where I talk about when you're working with a lot of people, your job is to find a solution, right? It's a creative meeting. You're looking for a solution to a particular thing. And my thing about the conscious and subconscious mind, and knowing that your subconscious mind, you don't control it, and knowing that it doles things out to you. Sometimes during a creative meeting, for whatever reason, your goal is to find an ad for power, like some kind of drink or something. And a Gilligan's Island episode pops into your head. And you're in a creative meeting, or something strange pops into your head during a creative meeting. And you don't know what it is, but you don't say anything because it's not relevant to the meeting. That's your unconscious mind hinting to something. In our office, we go off tangent constantly because I'll start talking about something totally strange that has nothing to do with anything, and it'll inspire somebody else to think of something, and we're all grown-ups, and we're all heading in the same direction. It's not like we're going to fly off into something and all of a sudden get off topic. You start to follow these things, these little tokens that you're getting, and then eventually something happens. And then, pow, you get an idea you never even thought you would reach. And on your own, you do that on your own because you're not intimidated by anybody else, right? Because you're on your own. So, and creativity is about courage. It's having the courage to be able to reach for something and fail. And when you fail, you just know where your barrier is. Failure is the best thing that can happen to you as a creative, because then you know how far you can go. When you fail, you learn. And when you succeed, you're inspired to try further and go further. And I think that there's a fear of failure that is the biggest obstacle. And any successful creative, they're the most courageous people I know, because they're the ones who are not afraid to reach and keep going and look stupid, and they just laugh it off and they just keep going. And people say they suck, and they're okay with that, and they listen to people that say they suck, and they're not mad at them. They listen to them, what is it about it that this guy thinks sucks? And then they go ahead and see how they can do it better. And you know, when you let your ego get in the way and you start being judgmental of the people that are critical of you, that's a problem, because you're never not learning. And that's the important thing. People, when you're an artist, the entire world is a judge. There is no professional. I mean, there are people that are greater artists than others, right? But it's because they're open and they're always growing, and they're still growing, and they're still going forward. The entire world's your judge. You need to listen to it. It's important.
I love what you said about the not being